That's 4 fingers. That's literally 4 fingers. This is literally not part 2. 1, 2. I guess I should explain what we're going to do today, and then I'm going to complete 2 rituals. First and foremost, what are we doing? This is a 3-part stream. I did a mini 5-minute just to basically help a patron of mine on Patreon about just how I approach shadowing. Underneath, you got an ink piece, you colour it, how I then do the shadows for that. So I did a 5-minute there. That was like a little special one-off. I actually want to do more mini videos of how-tos, and then kind of post them separately, but we'll get into the swing of that. Then I'm going to stream today for about 4 or 5 hours. But I don't want to do a 4 or 5 hour video in one sitting. Well, I kind of do. We're going to basically end up doing that. But I don't want to have it be one big, huge, unedited video. So I'm going to do a 2 hour and a 2 hour. And I'm going to do the first 2 hours on Gaxmoor. Okay? Then we're going to finish off revisiting something that we've not seen in a few weeks. Keystone Reforged. Okay? So that's how we are going to do today. But we can't do diddly squat without 2 tools. 3. First and foremost, the trusty glove of awesomeness. It is my kung fu glove. It is my ninja glove. It is my wah glove. Second item, the pen. Third item, I had to count that one. My laurel wreath. The very delightful Angel Tarragon sent this to me. Angel, you are absolute delight. It's actually quite weighty. I think it's like it's a heavy plastic, or it's metal or something. It actually bends. I think there's metal in this. This is kind of cool. Hold on a minute. Yeah, I think there's metal wire in this. So hold on. How am I gonna do this? I think there's a better way. Hold on. This is an important part, Angel. And Jen, you missed it. I did a shadow thing. I just did it for Ian. I did a whole video just on shadows. How does that look? That looks okay, right? This. How does that look? Does that look appropriate? I think that looks appropriate. And Phantom Jen, yeah. Girl, you missed it. I just literally did a 5-minute segment just on shadows. And Angel? The Empress is here. Shit, Angel, you said to read the note. I didn't read the bloody note. I never read the notes. I saw it, I got giddy with excitement. Hold on, Angel. Hold on. Alright, Angel, I've got the note. I always forget to do it. I got the package, I opened it up, I saw this, and I was like, Angel sent me the wreath! Well, hold on. So that's a gift receipt. Here we go. Here's the note. For the glory of Rome, may the reign of the Empress Alyssa be eternal. Angel, you're so sweet. I'm going to keep that right there. You're so awesome. Alright. So, yeah, a little bit of a odd start to today. I'm starting early, and we're doing a 3-part stream. I've got my headdress going on, and I did a shadow bloody video And I didn't wear my shadow shirt. And I feel like such a failure because of that. It was such a missed opportunity. They don't come by that often. But I think, let's just get into the swing of this. Angel, I know that you're looking forward to me working on Keystone Reforged, and we will. But I think if we're going to stream for about 4 or 5 hours today, I'm going to split it in half. I am literally going to stop the stream. The chat will still be up. And then I'll start the stream again, but we'll switch into then doing Keystone. And I have Keystone here, waiting for us. But I figured it might be fun to end with some colouring, you know? But I don't want to mix them in with the same videos. So we're gonna start with this one right here. Because I didn't stream on Thursday, I didn't do any Gaxmoor. So let's just do a little bit of the old Gaxaroo right here. And I'm seeing around the A4 region, we need a little bit, maybe some ruins. And what is A42? Let's read A42. Let's get into the string of this. How is everyone's Saturday? How is everything? This is my long weekend because I don't have a game today. So it means that both days belong to me. So it ends up being just like, the weekend's mine. I can do what the hell I want. And apparently I sit on stream with a laurel wreath on my head. That's what I want. Area 42. Oh, we decided that the label was in the wrong place. You stand on marvellously smooth roadway, paved square blocks of pale stone. Blah, blah, blah. Twins bronze gates ahead. Yeah, so Area 42 is in the wrong place. So here's a question for you guys. There's an Area 43 and an Area 44. I'm not seeing those on the map. Oh, this is curious. I have descriptions in the book that aren't on the map. Let's look at these together. So hold on a second. I'm going to turn these off. This is the original map. Okay. Okay. So I want you to look at this with me. We got a 36, 37, 38, 39, where's 40? 40. Oh, the... $44. We're gonna have to do some cleanup on these labels. 44 in the book is listed as Western Gate. There's no compass row, so that's hard to say. But okay, 44 is listed as the Western Gate. 41. Where's 43? 40, 41, 43. Northeastern Gate. Oh, see, the 44's in the wrong location. Or it's got the wrong name. I need to bring this up with the guys. Okay, so that stuff's wrong. Then we've got 43 there, Northeastern Gate. And 42 over here. And 42 is the Northwestern Gate. So the label's in the wrong place. Alright. So that's kind of odd. It's like the description for 44 is definitely wrong. And the label for 42 is in the wrong place, and we've got two A3s. But apart from that, it's rocking. Perry! Hello! Welcome, Perry. After Chuck, I was Chuck's wedding. Say hi to Chuck if you're still around. It's Chuck's wedding. Chuck, right, good guy. It's awesome that Jen is at Chuck's wedding. That's fantastic. Alright, let's get into this. Let's turn all of our layers back on. And... well, we kind of did do some ruins. We did do some ruins. But let's add one more ruin just to get ourselves warmed up. Perry, that version of Gaxmoor map has kind of problems. There are some problems with it. There are definitely some problems with it. And I don't even know to this day if they're aware, you know? What is it? Years on. So I'll probably just bring it up with the guys. Because these are, like, obviously corrections or changes that I'm making from the original, so I always like to get their buy-in. Hey guys, I think you got two A3s, so I think one of them was wrong. I think it was meant to be A5. Also, this description over here was wrong. I'm going to point that type of shit out to them. It's funny though, I gotta be honest with you, I see it a lot, particularly on existing pieces, where there's maybe something that's come from the 70s or the 80s, and has come up through the decades, maybe gone through a couple of iterations, and then I get the latest map, and I get the descriptions, and I'm like, I don't think these have been compared in a while, guys. They're kind of falling out of sync a little bit, but this one's definitely got a couple of things that need to be changed. Alright, so let's come down to 38. Do I want to do ruined? We're not going to do ruined walls today. We're not going to do that. 36 we've got drawn. 38 I think is just referring to the break in the wall. So then we've got 37. Alright. 37 is the West Aqueduct. Yeah, okay, so let's come back to that. 38 is a breach in the wall. So that is a breach, and another always there. So 37, West Aqueduct. You hear the sound of fast flowing water bubbling up from underground pipes. Okay, so it's underground. The deep stone-lined waterway leads due west, widening the further it goes. I think 37, that label should be a little further north on that pool. I think that's what's going on. So I'm going to leave that one. 2 spots labeled S3. Really? You're spotting that even from there? God damn it, it's super sensitive. I see one S3. There's a 3 and an S3. If it's just a 3 on its own, it's a statue. If it's an S3, then it's structures or something like that. But we'll cross that when we get to it, okay? You've been harassing the trolls for months about this stuff. Have you? You and I should exchange notes. You and I should definitely exchange notes. I will get it consolidated and I'll get it in front of Stephen, you know? And Luke. Alright, so 837 I'm just going to leave alone. 35 I think is just the gateway. Pillaged Tinker's Shop. Ooh, what's this? Alright. 35, Pillaged Tinker's Shop. A small store has been thoroughly looted. The front door has been smashed in and lies splinters in the entry. From the scattered wreckage, it appears this was a tinker's shop. An assortment of pots, pans, and broken utensils litter the floor. So what is 34? Destroyed huts. Again, I think this is... I'm just going to quickly put my narrate layer back on. I think this layer, or that label, should be closer to here, and this should be kind of over here. So we'll worry about that in the actual labeling phase. I think what we're going to do is this is going to be the tinker's shop right here. And then we'll do ruined huts over here. Several of the huts have been vandalized and knocked down. Only a handful remain intact. The ground is strewn with debris. Well, we can definitely do that. Alright, so let's start here and then we'll move on to the tannery area. Perry, working on the Gaxmoor Castles and Crusades adaptation for Fantasy Grounds. Alright. Well, then you and I should definitely exchange notes. If you've noticed some inconsistencies ahead of me, let's maybe get a little dialogue going. I'll mark down the ones I've noticed. You've probably seen them all at this point. So you give me the ones that you've got. We'll just start collating them all. Because I'm going to be the one that ends up labeling this sucker too, right? I don't know what you mean by some question mark. Sorry, the whole delay in chat makes it very difficult sometimes to keep up. Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that, Perry. I'm actually, yeah, honestly, I'm not that familiar with their products, or their development methodology, or anything, you know. I will say that with a completely different product, like nothing to do with those guys, I was noticing some inconsistencies too. But this one has been a little egregious. It has been a little egregious, you know. I actually don't know how most places QA their work. I gotta be honest with you. I mean, like from the perspective of like typos and stuff like that, I'm sure most places have got that type of thing down. You know, proofreading. But does anyone ever compare maps to descriptions? Does anyone ever like do that? You know, or do they just trust that the cartographer's got it right? Does anyone ever go through all of the labels, making sure that they're in an appropriate place, or do they assume that the cartographer got it right? I tend to be a little bit sort of fastidious when it comes to that type of thing, because I think you gotta be. But I don't know about other cartographers. So I wonder how much of it is kind of just common, where, you know, it's kind of luck if the descriptions are in the right place. I don't know what the circles are meant to be. And I'm assuming that they're bushes, but you know what? Let's add a little circle thing then. And then we're going to draw the tannery. That'll be a nice little milestone for us. Alright, let's take a look at the tannery. And then we'll take a look at 33 and 32. Then depending what, like 30, 28, 40, etc. Well, 40 is just a brick in the wall. We might be done with the outside area once we've got this tannery done. That would be nice. Perry says, there's a huge fan of Castles and Crusades and other Siege Engine games. Honestly, I've never played them, man. I own some of the books, but I've never played them. The amount of typos and other product issues, I will say that Trolls need some work on the QA side. Oh, indeed. Oh, indeed. I honestly, this is probably the first Castles and Crusades and Troll book I've ever handled with any degree of engagement. So I trust your judgment on that, my friend. Where would the tannery be? Like, it's not numbered, so where would I find? Ah, there we go. It's right at the very beginning of the chapter of the outside area. Is there a map of the tannery? That's what we care about. And Perry, if you hear me ask a question and you see me looking for a map, and if you know that there is one or not, tell me. Like, the Shapely Siren Inn has a map. I'm not seeing one for the tannery. Which means we can draw whatever that we want. And I'll probably... I'll keep the spirit of what that is on the map there. Alright, the tannery. It has just a paragraph, but it's such a huge item on the map. I'm really surprised. I would have thought that the tannery would have, like, more, like, pages dedicated to it. Alright. The tannery and the slaughterhouse are in the southwest corner of the Gaxmoor map. It was placed in the... It was placed in the module to provide the characters with access to several valuable spell components. No encounter was created for this establishment, but the game is running slowly, then this may be where the group has a run-in with stuff. Full details see the tannery. Alright, I guess we'll look for the tannery. Hold on a sec. Okay, so there's the graveyard. Okay. A few pages dedicated to that. We're still in the graveyard? Clearly the graveyard is a major component of this module. Tannery, there we go. What did it say? For full details, see the tannery on page 57. That would have helped. Okay. This large walled structure stands apart from the great ramparts of the city. Here, 12-foot high walls stretch between several flat-roofed buildings. Okay. Battlements, will draw those, and catwalks, will draw those, can be found on the roofs of these buildings. They're not all of the walls between them. Okay, so some of them. The compound has 2 gates. So 2 gates, basically it's like a little mini fort. The compound has 2 gates, one on the southeast corner and one on the northwest. Okay. And they're closed. It's avoided much of the destruction. And then there's some spoilers, so I'm not going to read that out. More spoilers, not going to read that out. There's an open compound surrounded by 5 houses. In the center of the compound are half a dozen plain pillars. The pillars were used to hang, stretch, and generally work leather products. Alright. Alright. And then I've got A, B, C, D, and E. So I guess let's draw the buildings and then I'll create a wall joining them. Alright. Let's put that there. Building A. Workshop. Alright, yeah, we could do this. We could do this. Might make our buildings a little bit more interesting in shape. And I'm not going to quite hit this like 45-degree angle thing that they've got going on. We're going to go slightly off kilter with that. Oh, but if I put that there, I can't move my book. So let's put that there. Okay. Workshop. Alright, let's do a workshop. Mr. Valor. One moment, my friend. I will be with you presently. Yes, scallywags, we're here for your loot and your booty. I would give you my laurel wreath. My gold laurel wreath. But I can't because it was a gift from a very dear friend. My objective is to wear this wreath all day for the full stream. Alright, workshop. I've just done that whole thing on roof details. God damn it. Alright, so let's move it. Let's move this. There we go. How are you, Mr. Valor, my friend? You've done a map a day for the last 3 days. That sounds like a really good pace. Excellent. The end of the week for me is not a mapping time. I've been playing computer games and painting miniatures. I try to always reserve my Friday for miniature painting. Unless I've got some kind of crunch job going on. So I painted some minis yesterday for a Gary Gygax diorama that I'm doing. Alright. Let's look up what the next one is. Only 20... You're trying to do a map a day for the entire month or something for 30 days. That's impressive. I could not do that. I don't have... my style, my subject matter is like... too big. That'd be a good exercise for me. What am I doing? Oh, I'm reading B. B. B for benches. Tables. Benches, tables, or a great fire pit with bellows reveal the main workshop of the compound. Okay. Abandoned projects. Okay. 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 Kind of like rotating things. We might move stuff if I feel like I need to move it up towards the northeast, which might become a thing. But if we do a wall let's say, doing this type of thing. Oh, I think I rotated this, didn't I? Hold on a sec. Yeah, so more like that. More like that. Which means that we've got to do a big... In fact, you know what? Let's just get our shapes in. Let's get our shapes in, and then we'll mess about. So, if we did that there, then it ends up being that there's going to be some kind of shape here. Now, we might change this, obviously, but let's just get our placement of stuff. And then, I kind of don't want it to be so symmetrical. So, if we did something like this, in this corner, and then we did kind of a wall coming up here to this, and then, so E would be kind of in this area here. Bushes, etc. notwithstanding. So more like... I think it's got more of an interesting shape. Let's see if we can rock this thing. Map-vember. Trying to get ahead. You know, with Inktober, now there's a map vendor. I'll tell you what, I'll draw a tree. Then I'll draw a bush. And then I'll do a single house. I wouldn't be able to do a map a day. That's nuts. I would not be able to do it. That's too prolific for me. So B we know. C... 2 large open doors reveal stables. Okay. An old wagon sits in the middle of the building. So C is stables. Okay. So C, I'm actually going to make C be longer. Let's get rid of that. Longer and narrower. And then we'll do in this corner the gateway right here. And then B is a big workshop. And I think what we might do is we might do an arched gateway between the two. I feel like, I don't know, my rotation is off on this. Let's just keep rocking it. Let's just keep rocking it. So what if you had like an actual walkway right here between these two buildings? What if that was our gateway right there? So we'll actually have like an actual path kind of coming through, you know? Which means... Alright, let's get our road shape in. Let's get our road in here. Means that maybe some of this has got to go. So what if we did this? Coming down to the road like so. Let's get rid of that queer hump there. Something like that. Something like that. Mr. Battle, my maps take from 2+ hours. My maps take 2+ hours too. As in 40. But even there, so man, I mean, that's kind of impressive to spend 2 hours a day, you know, drawing a map. That's kind of cool. I mean, I spend 2 hours a day drawing maps, but I'm doing it for, like, the stream, you know? Let's read D. D for a narrow door. Provides egress to this sturdy building. Several long tables and benches and chairs, cabinets line the walls. The room obviously served as a supply room and lab. Alright, so D is a lab. Alright. You know, I'm kind of thinking about making this like an off shape. This compound, you know? Then having walls connecting them. So we could do D like that-ish, maybe. What if our roof came into the compound a little bit? And then E stands for a heavy stench rising from the building. It only gets worse when you enter beneath the wide doors. Large hooks attached to the ceiling reveal a slaughterhouse. Alright. So I think what we'll do is we'll put the slaughterhouse further away from everything. Let's put our slaughterhouse over here. And I think we'll have some maybe compounds outside the slaughterhouse, right? Where they would keep the animals and such. I feel like our slaughterhouse... Alright, you know what? I'm going to move the slaughterhouse. Just trying to be logical here. What if our slaughterhouse is a little bit more central? And actually has a little roof part here, and we'll do some like fenced off areas behind, I think. And I might move this building right there. I think I'm going to move it. Let's move some things around. So let's take him. I'll do the roof detail in a second separately. Let's move him. Kind of there. Might be too large if we're not careful. I might be getting this too large, so let's not get too carried away. Let's cinch some things in a little bit. Ah. Right, slaughterhouse. Let's rotate that. Maybe, you know what? I'm gonna redraw the slaughterhouse. I'm not happy with it. Let's get rid of. Oh, you know what? Sure. We'll use the eraser instead. Let's get rid of this. And let's I kind of feel like a long building. Narrow entry. And then we'll do some pens back there. Let's do something more like that. It's going to be like a little miniature farm. Now there was another exit point in the northwest corner. I'm not sure where that's going to. You know what? Okay. Description says there's an exit point in the northwest corner. Well, what if that northwest corner was really serving the slaughterhouse more than anything else? So what if... What if... We'll do a little gatehouse here. Let's think about this. Let's think about how I want to arrange this. Let's turn this off, it's distracting me. So we've got our entryway off the road. It comes to a gateway. We've got our workshop. We've got our stables. I think it stands to reason that some of these stables... Let's tell us a story here, right? There would be absolutely some kind of doorway here at the front of the stables. And then there would be inner doorways. And let's do a nice coach house style doorway. And we'll do roof details, etc. separately in a moment. We're going to make this one more interesting because we're going to actually, I think... Oh, come on. You know what? Let's do this instead. I'm going to make a little work compound, I think, here. Alright. So that's going to be our work compound there. And then we get to this area in the northeast. Forget exactly what that was, like some kind of work. It wasn't a workshop. Tool shed, right? Tool shed workshop. Tool shed workshop. Yeah. Yep. So we'll have a wall connect those two guys. Large walled structure. 12-foot high walls stretch between several flat roofed buildings. I need to be careful because that one is not flat roofed, so we're going to have to make sure all others are flat roofed. Battlements and catwalks can be found on the roofs of these buildings. Alright. So we're going to do battlements and catwalks. try this instead. Ah, no, that's not good. That's better. We're going to do some pens around that. Maybe we draw the pens first. Let's draw the pens. Then we'll come in and do catwalks and such. Let's do the pens. Alright, so slaughterhouse. Flat roof building. I'm not gonna. I think I'm gonna make this though. A little bit of roof detail here. Like this is some little sort of sloped roof coming down. And this will be like the main area where the cattle is brought in. Okay, so how am I doing this? How am I doing this? So so if that is one way in, am I doing this type of thing? I'm going for a little bit of asymmetricality, just to make it visually interesting in shape. They should probably have a loading area, right? Which comes into the compound. A cart there. You know, I think we could probably stop there, maybe. If we do a wall along the outside edge of this, maybe we'll do a gatehouse here for leaving the compound. Well, there will be a wall joining there, a wall joining there. We could put some old farms on the outside, some old cattle fields on the outside of this. Yeah. And I think that would do that area. Alright, wall. Alright, something like that. Edge Marion, I'll break my lurk mode just long enough to say good morning. Edge Marion, thank you for breaking the lurk mode. Say good morning. Good morning to you too. You may go back to lurking. That's the beautiful thing about Twitch, though. I think Twitch, you know, it's kind of okay and expected to lurk. You know, you just have shit going on in the background. Let's draw some farms. Let's draw some farms. I'm for some reason doing these all wonky-fied. Like my brain is wanting to do one thing and then my hand starts doing something else. Let's try this again. Because what we've got is this is a... Is this going to be an entryway? No, you know what this is? This does this. Right. This is more like it. This is what I was looking for. Cattle fields. That's what we're doing. Cattle fields. I guess that opens up into this area here. Maybe we'll let the rocks be a natural boundary. Just wanted to add a little bit more life to this area, you know. Whoops. Did I just hit close? I did hit close. There's apparently a keyboard shortcut for close. Hold on a sec. Never done that on the stream before. I guess that's Gaxmoor done. Let's move on. Thank God it hit save. Apparently Control or Alt or Shift and mashing WASD closes shit. Who would have thought? So this could come through and open up into a couple of fields right about here. Like so. Let's maybe open up there, or just one big field. No, let's make it more interesting. Alright, something like that. Okay. Roof details. What have we got? How do I pen pressure size? Battlements. Hello. Yeah. Yeah, what am I... I'll do something interesting with that. So... do something interesting with this shape here. I think that is an interesting corner. I think that is an interesting corner. Alright, give me a second, I'm going to get a top up of water. That's an interesting shape. I like that. I think I prefer that over the original. What are those smudges? Like, what are they? Where did they come from? I remember doing them. Like, what? Where did that come from? Or this? I don't not. I'm gonna have to watch the stream back later because I do not remember when they appeared. Maybe I did it with my finger when I was zooming out or something? That would be kind of weird though. It doesn't normally do that. Anyway. Walkways, steps up, little wooden platforms. That's kind of what I'm feeling here. That's kind of what I'm feeling here. So, let's start the process. Let's do walkways up. This is a doorway through, so let's do something like this. And I realised that there would probably be stairs in the towers themselves, but I like the detail on the walls too. Okay. Steps up. What about little wooden gangways and such? Yeah. Alright. What if... What if... I'm actually going to build a little catwalk around the outside of this building here. Which means that there would be a little opening here. More wooden catwalk here. I'm going to draw the planks and shit on this. We're going to have some fun with it. It would be kind of cool to build a little wooden tower. It would be kind of cool to build a little wooden tower. I kind of like the idea of that. I kind of like the idea of that. Like, let's build it in the corner here. Like, on top of the structure, right? I don't want to make it too round, so that's why I'm not doing a round select tool and stroking it. I want it to feel like a wooden man-made structure on the top of this building here. No. Take that back. And I don't want to get like too cray with this. I want to add some details, you know? The description talks about walkways and gangwalks and catwalks, you know? And this, I was kind of thinking bringing this down like so, and basically having some steps coming up. Water trough. I think that there should be some kind of water structure when you come in. For the stables, right? You know what the stables needs? Maybe thinking about underground here. Let's do it here. Little hatch up and down onto the roof. We'll texturize that roof. It's a flat roof, that's what the description says, but I'll kind of want to make sure that, you know, we still add detail, texture, and... I mean, is it like a wooden roof? Maybe wood. Maybe wood. Flat wood roof. You know, something like that. And this was basically a storage lab, wasn't it? So let's just get a little bit of detail there. This Saturday stream is pretty chill. It is. No, it is. There's some days where it's like really hopping, and other days where just people are busy just doing shit. This is a bit of pretty chill stream. And in all truth, I'm feeling pretty chill. Like, I feel kind of tired today. I feel like if I wasn't having to work on maps, I actually honestly would do a 2-hour stream and then go off and play Fallout 4 or something like that. I feel... Maybe there's just a lot of that going around right now. Yeah, the weekday streams, normally, you know, there's no pattern. I've been trying to figure out a pattern for things. Like, I've had some Saturday streams that are off the hook. Because, like, you know, I have people out of different time zones, and they're like, I can finally get to you, you know? And yet today, it's like, no, everyone's like, you know, was hanging out during the week, so everyone's like busy now during today. So I think it is chill. And I thought that sometimes, like, Mondays are busy, but Tuesdays are quiet, but then the following week will totally turn that up on its head. So this is a chill one, so I'm just going to chill here. I've got to draw this thing anyway, so I may as well draw it on Twitch. But I've also had some streams that are, like, dead quiet for 2 hours, and then suddenly go off the hook for the last 2 hours. So we'll see how things go. Do I want to draw more wooden walkways? I kind of liked doing it. I don't want to overdo it. Sometimes less is more. Large walled structure stands apart from the great ramparts of the city. Here, 12-foot high walls stretch between several flat-roofed buildings. Battlements and catwalks can be found on the roofs of these buildings. Battlements and catwalks. Though not on the walls between them. I might have actually kind of broke that a little bit. I need to be careful here. So we do have battlements on those buildings. I think that's fair. We can't go crazy with the walls between them. So each building is kind of like its own little fortress. So let's emphasize that and not the walls. Oh, Mr. Value, you're going to raid me on Thursday, but I wasn't around. Miss J had an epiphany about why your streams are so fun during the week. You have that drinks before dinner thing going on. Well, normally, so here's the deal. Normally, I would have a cup of coffee right here and a mimosa, and I don't have either, and I don't want to stop the stream to get them. But yeah, normally it's like the evening streams are like, what, an hour and a half, 2 hours, you gotta pack it in. Today I'm feeling way more just, I'm just gonna chill and do my thing. But honestly, I was up early, and like, yeah, I mean, I started the stream early too. It's just like everything has just been a little bit off sync today. I think we are going to create a little wooden walkway here on the outside of the building. Well, I appreciate the sentiment of you raiding me. Normally, too. Normally, I think honestly, people just sometimes are just plain doing things on a Saturdays, particularly early. I started early. If people are doing things, like Jennifer went off and she's like at a wedding, then people can't be in here hanging out. I have noticed sometimes later in the stream it gets busier because this is literally Saturday morning. Who is sitting around Saturday morning? Some present company accepted. Like watching my sorry ass. But as we get in towards the afternoon, it's like evening for some people, nighttime for Dungeon Tomb. He's been quiet recently. Normally he's like talking to me a lot, but he's been quiet. It's just been quiet out there. I don't know how to add too many battlements to this. I don't know how far I want to take it. I don't want to go too cray. I don't know if that suffices. I mean, compared to the old map, this suffices. But I feel like it needs something more. Edge Marion, I love sitting around and doing nothing on Saturday. I have a party to go to tonight. I'd rather not, but I said I'd go. Yeah, sometimes. I'm a recluse. I'm a recluse. Like, if I go to a convention, I am very extroverted. And I'm a hey. But in my heart, I am a recluse. And my ideal day is honestly sitting in front of my computer, drinking wine, playing something like Fallout 4. Or just a game, a computer game. That's what I like to do. And maybe in the evening I go downstairs and I'll watch a film with Jack. But I don't want to go out. I don't want to socialize with people. I'm pretty antisocial that way. I need to know in advance that it's happening. Like next weekend, next Sunday, we're going to go off and see that Lighthouse movie thing, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm genuinely looking forward to it. But I need to know. I need to know like a week ahead of time that that's what's going on. I'm gonna add something to this building. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do some nice wood structure on this building. It was bugging me. I'm going to add one to the stable. I'm going to add one to the stable as well. Because that will emphasize the thing. Then each individual building has been built up a little bit, but nothing on the walkways in between. That's what it says. So let's do that. Let's come back a little bit. Let's fully embrace the stairs. Coming up to this. And let's actually a little narrow walkway going through here. And here. Yeah, okay. Something like this. I think the rest of the detailing we'll do kind of when we're closer to colour time. Colour time. But let's get some little crates and things, like this is a worked area. Maybe some stored logs. I don't think I'm going to do anything in the centre of the courtyard. I think we're gonna flag that whole courtyard. So we've got stables here. So let's get a little wagon outside the stables. Then this is a storage place here. So let's add some things outside, like crates and barrels and things like that. And then of course we've got our slaughter yard there. Maybe we'll just do a little bit of overgrowth here. Let's move on. I think that's fine. I think that's fine as our tannery and workshop area. Yeah, I think that looks okay. I think that looks okay. So let's take a look at what other buildings we're going to do here. We may not have much of anything. Oh, we got A32 and 33. That we do have to do. Down in the south there. 33. Let's zoom in just a little bit. 33. A large pile of rubble is all that remains of this building. It is difficult to ascertain what purpose the structure once had. The upper story has been consumed by fire, and the stone walls are mostly toppled over into mounds of stone. Well, we can definitely do that. Alright. Then 32. Huts on the outskirts. These huts mark the southern limit of the city of Gaxmoor. They are constructed from a hodgepodge of wood, thatch, and reeds. The buildings appear to have been left largely intact. Apparently not even the invading scum thought these humble dwellings were worth pillaging. Alright. So, ruined structure with lots of small huts all the way around it. The 39, I think, is just a breakthrough on the wall. Yep, breach. 31. Sewerage grate. There's going to be tendrils of green vegetation waving in front of the grate, caught in the currents, but struck on the crossbars. That's going to be fun to paint. That's going to be cool. 30. 29. 30 is a southern aqueduct, bubbling, rushing water, storage of detention. Again, you see how, like, that whole stream peters out to nothing? I'm not sure I want to do that. We might change the shape of that. 29. Boar's nest. Okay. Nothing to really draw there. 28. A copse of squat trees. Oh, there's lots of them. I think we're just going to do these ruined buildings. 40 is a breach. Yeah, ruined buildings and huts. And the outside of Gaxmoor is done. Let's do it. Okay, ruined building done, and now we're just going to do a hodgepodge of huts around here. I might do one a little further up the slope a little bit too. And we'll do the roof details in a moment. Now, most of them are intact. I didn't say all of them are intact. I'm going to do some that are kind of collapsed. Kind of trying to do them on the slopes of the hills. and we're going to come in, we're going to draw wood and thatch roofs on these. I'm trying to purposely keep these shapes simple because they're just huts, and I don't want to get too grand with them. Remember, the invading forces did not see these as worth pillaging, so they're just going to basically look like a tool sheds, like a shit, you know? What's that density look like? Okay, we can come a little further east. We can come a little further east with these. Maybe a little further to the east, up the hill here a little. And then we'll do the roofs. I think that's a pretty good density. I think that's a pretty good density. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Let's give them some nice roof details now. Fact. Let's lighten off our brush a little bit for these. So wood and thatch. This little bit of detail makes a huge difference, I think. And the colouring will do the rest. Because we'll have some brown roofs, we'll have some burned roofs, we'll have some yellow roofs. Maybe a little hole in the roof on this one. And then what we're going to be able to do is actually look at the interior of Gaxmoor. This should be fun. We're actually going to decide where we want to come in. Mr. Valor. Mr. Valor, your 40th birthday in a week. That's big, man. Congrats. Now we are going to do little old pathways between these buildings and everything, but I'm going to do it in the colouring phase. Because I don't want it to look too strong. I feel like the area's been kind of like overgrown, you know? So I think that is that. That is the outside of Gaxmoor done. I think we can start pouring into the interior of Gaxmoor and figuring out how we want to do this. What's the mouse? What have you got there? New mice are always fun. Assuming that it's a nice mouse. New mice are always fun to play with. Let's take a look at the interior of Gaxmoor. Now we've got to figure out how we're gonna do this. Because normally, so education time. Normally what I do when I'm drawing the interior of a city is I mark off my main roads first. I mark off our key locations, but everything the numbered in here is kind of a key location in a way. But we mark off our key locations, and then I actually do side roads, and I do it in a very hodgepodge kind of manner. And I kind of create these little tiny districts. And one day I'll do a little video tutorial, but I've done lots in the past. And then I fill them in. I fill in these neighbours with these random neighbourhoods with these random building shapes. Well, this is a little bit different because this is, no, that has to be like an amphitheatre here. That has to be a pyramid here, which is fine. But the client also wants to get more of a city feel to this. So we have to get our main roads, our centre structure, and our main structures, I think, kind of at least located. And I think we're going to lean on the main roads and that centre compound to a degree to help shape this. But I think we're going to spend just a little bit of time here figuring out our approach to Gaxmoor. Hey, Stevie Hill! Welcome to the stream, Stevie. $25 Logitech, which is more than twice what you normally spend. I'm using, I know, a Logitech G602 or something. It wasn't $25, it was a little bit more than that, but I'm really liking it. Alright, how are we going to do this? Mark off roads. Mark off our centre compound. I think we're going to do all of this on a throwaway ink layer, like a trace layer. Let's earmark some stuff. We might have to make some reference to the book, but let's do a new layer. Let's call it sketch. And I need to be very careful I don't copy the underlying map too much. And what I mean by that is look at our cemetery. So the cemetery looks like this. So I've kind of captured the key locations of the numbered tombs, but not the actual originals were basically almost all the same and all on 45-degree variation angles, 45, 90, 135. So we have to do that with the city. Now, you'll notice that every single building is on 180, 45, 90, every single building. And some of the buildings, like S55 doesn't look like that at all. That's like a symbol now. That's not a top-down view. S55 looks like a pyramid, right? Well, it is a pyramid, so we end up drawing that very differently. Mr. Valor, now the stream starts. And I hear coffee going in the background too, so now things are going to start picking up. We hit Gaxmoor and suddenly shit kicks in. So let's trace where we want to put things, right? Let's trace what's important. I think, obviously, our roads aren't going to look like this. And by the way, I don't really draw roads. I use buildings to create the negative space, which leaves the roads in between. You're going to see that as we get into this. But let's say that our core main roads is something like this. That is like me demonstrate. I've had one sip of a mimosa and I can't draw a straight line. I don't know if we're going to exactly do that. This road is kind of this really funny shape. I don't like it. But from the actual main gates, I think we will follow the spirit of what the road is doing there. So something like this. Made another gate somewhere. And I know I've got ruined walls to do, but I'm not too concerned about that right now. You know, this one here, it kind of bends around this building. I'm not going to do that. There are these funny bends that they sometimes do. There's another one over here. Let me see if I can show you on the original. You see this bend where it does this? Why would it do that? It wouldn't do that. So where bends are illogical, I'm going to get rid of them. And I think we'll just come straight into the main compound here. Like Royal Avenue type of deal. I could argue, honestly, that this does the same. Why bend the road if you don't have to? Let's assume that our main roads are pretty much what the city is structured around. That one can bend. I think that's cool. And this here... Alright, let's just see where this goes. What we'll do with this main road is we will allow this one to kind of do a little bit of a funny. Something like this. Alright, now with main roads established, I think what we're... This may mean that we do a little bit of fiddle-farting on some of the actual placement of buildings, but that's okay. That's okay. Nothing's set in stone at this point, right? Is it just 3 ways in? 3 ways in? Okay. Then what I would normally do is say, okay, so if I've got my main roads, where are my secondary roads? And I would definitely have one on the interior of the wall, like keeping buildings away from the wall itself. So that's a given, we'll do that. But then, what about like this type of road here? Right, off the main roads. Probably forming a circle around the interior due to the shape of the city. But maybe something like, what if we did... In fact... I'm going to have to look at what this structure here is in a moment. So this is me just spitballing here. And again, we don't draw the roads, we'll draw the buildings either side of the road. And let's offset this now. Let's create this in an interesting sort of way. Now if there's a pool, and we'll have to read this location, but maybe there's a nice little courtyard or plaza around the pool, which means this secondary road kind of is going to be on the plaza. Then this road maybe comes off this direction, and then right around the amphitheatre type of deal. Maybe it wraps around the amphitheatre. I think that this road would come up to the edge of the amphitheatre. It would use the amphitheatre as the main boundary, you know. And S24 looks special. So what if this area here is all like open plaza? you know, Rome Greek style. And then we could do another secondary road kind of coming down here. Again, forget the original locations for everything that you see in the background map there, because we're going to like shake this up a little bit. And maybe this sort of hits the plaza area, and that's how it kind of like, and then we come down. And then, okay, let's just keep the spirit of the original in a way, right through the middle of S32 there. And then maybe it does something like this for secondary roads. Right. I feel like we should do a proof of concept, and for some reason I want to do it in the S55 area. I don't really want to draw the interior compound yet. Kind of like just not in the mood for that. Because I know for a fact that S55 is a pyramid. Ooh, gladiatorial school. Ooh. S11. Right on. Alright. S55. Pyramid Circus. An odd and amazing structure greets your gaze. A small pyramid dominates this part of the city. Its slanting stone walls rise 60 feet high, and the base covers approximately 100 feet on each side. So 45, 46, 47, 44, 43, 42, anywhere that you see just a number, 40, these are statues. So I'm going to come back to those. We'll do some kind of symbol for those, and I'm just going to not worry about them. They'll be kind of something we add right at the end. I think we're going to do the pyramid. We're going to do the pyramid right here, and I'm going to put the pyramid in a plaza right in the corner of where we've penciled in those roads. So let's draw a pyramid that's got 100 feet on each side. Let's do it. Let's do it. And each of these squares is 30, I think, if I remember rightly. One square equals 30 feet. Yep. Alright. So let's use the old squares as our guide for now. I'm going to move this sucker in a moment, but approximately 3 squares. So 1, 2, 3. Let's make it a little larger. 1, 2, 3. A little larger. According to book, that's the size of the pyramid. And I want to position that puppy. I know I'm not meant to be copying the 45-degree angles, but I kind of want to nestle it in here. Like so. I'm thinking something like that. Alright. I'm doing a new action. We're on record. We do select, modify, contract. We'll contract it. This is hard to say. Let's try 4. That's good. And then we'll do an edit, stroke, a light stroke on the center. And that is that done. So we stop it. So if we go back to steps and we do it again, and again, and again, and again, you get the idea. I just did an action. There we go. Oh, that last step didn't need. There we go. Maybe we'll leave... No, let's leave it like that. Let's leave it like that. Do I want a lot of biscuit on my club? Let's do a detail layer here. No, let's do hard round 1. There we go. There we go. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So, S55 done. Let's figure out what... Well, see, there were ages off. 49, 50, 56, 57. They're all, like, over there somewhere, right? We don't give a shit about them. So, let's now draw the area around the pyramid. Let's get into this. And it looks like there's a lot of ruined buildings here. But let's show you how I'm now going to draw this. Now, real quick though, I think let's take our sketch down in opacity so it's not too obnoxious. Something like that. And let me just mark kind of where we then need to be re-evaluating some things. So kind of like right about here. This starts to get into these other buildings. So we can play with this entire quadrant here. Okay, so let's do it. Let's play. I think I'm at the 2-hour mark, aren't I? Which is where I'd normally be switching streams. But let's continue a little bit more. Let's continue a little bit more. Let's do this whole proof of concept. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to purposely make some buildings a little bit haphazard, a bit broken, you know? We'll have plenty of, like, fallen rubble and things like that coming off them. A little bit different than I would normally do. Come on, Photoshop, what are you doing? Now, normally, I would actually do roof details as we go. But Miss J came up with a better idea about doing them on a separate layer, which would make colouring a whole lot faster later on. So that's what we're going to do. Right, we'll zoom out in a second. I'm probably going to move 46 statue. Right, let me just turn that off. Alright, so this is kind of the concept here. Let's get rid of sketch. Have the buildings form the actual road edge. And then, if we go over to the other side, S58 and S59. Alright, let's take a look at what S58 is real quick. '57 and 58. Where's 57? Alright, maybe it's on the other side. Destroyed guard post and stables 58. Completely fire ravaged ruin. Right. And 59 is described as a villa. It's actually, its name is a bit spoilery, so I'm not going to do anything with that. But that's a villa. Seems to be left alone after the attack. The grounds around the villa are free of bones and rubbish. Alright, so that's a villa. So I'm going to use the villa as a juxtaposition to the pyramid opposite it in the actual crux of where we want our road here. So, with that said, I normally actually do guardhouses and stables as you come into a town. I think it's logical, right? You come through the gates and that's where the guards are positioned and everything. And maybe there's some stables and everything for the guards or you. So, we're going to do a ruined building here. And I think we'll have some old walls here. They've kind of collapsed down. And we will be adding vegetation to this later on. Alright. We'll do that one for there. Now if I turn this off at the background here, you see how just drawing opposite that building, now we've got our road. Our road is beginning to form immediately. That's what we're going to do. And we're just going to go all the way up there. In fact, this will be distracting, so let's turn that off. I don't normally do this sort of volume of ruined buildings. It's kind of trippy, to be honest with you. But I think it'll be an interesting map. It'll certainly be a bugger to colour. Alright. You see the street forming? That's what I'm talking about right there. This is how we're going to draw Gaxmoor. We're going to locate the key buildings. We're going to draw the key buildings. We've given ourselves a rough road that form our neighborhoods. We're going to draw the whole place like this. And then where we have like this type of concept of this road here, or this opening, if we actually did something like this, then we can actually give ourselves a tertiary road. Right there, coming through. I think we're going to have some fun with this one, guys. Such a huge volume of ruins, I think is going to get really interesting. It's going to create some potential for some nice white space on this map that we fill in with debris. So let's draw our villa. Let's draw our villa. Yeah. You know, just straight off the Vicodon map where we did a lot of villas. I think we know what we're doing with these villas now. Miss J, morning, still alive. I missed one stream. Come on. Perry, in my opinion, the original map doesn't have enough ruin. 100%, my friend. 100%. It's kind of like the original map is a collection of symbols and encounter locations. And then like there was some like of this like background stuff drawn in, but no one, the person that did the original map didn't think about streets, like the city before, locations outside of those that are numbered, right? That's what we're going to do, and it's going to be a lot more ruin. There's going to be no white space on this map from the perspective of something not drawn there. There's going to be ruin, or there's going to be a building everywhere. But you can't be worried about me. It was one Thursday. You can't be worried about me with one Thursday. And I did post on my Facebook wall that I wouldn't be streaming. I did. I was just talking about you, Miss J. Because of these roof details right here. Yeah, I just, you know, I streamed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I just wasn't in the mood. And that's not like me. But I wanted to play Fallout instead. I'm going to be honest with you. Not Fallout 76. Fuck that noise. But I wanted to play Fallout 4. I was just in the mood. I wanted to sit at home and I wanted to play games. So instead of streaming, I came home and I played games. But thank you for being worried about me. It's appreciated. We will be stitching streams. What the hell is going on here? We are going to be switching streams in a moment. I'm just doing this proof of concept for the interior of Gaxmoor, and then we're going to get into some colouring work. It is a Peter Bradley map. Well done. Do you know something about Peter Bradley? Yeah, it's not often that I need a break, Vala. But once a month, once every 2 months, I want to say, I'm just like, I just need to like not be streaming tonight because it's a constant performance. I'm doing this on the ink layer. God damn it, got distracted. I don't suppose it really matters, you know. I don't suppose it matters, but there we go. Yeah, once in a blue moon, I don't want to be performing. I don't want to even draw a map, you know. So unless I've got some kind of really hard pressing deadline, like once in a blue moon, I want to play games instead. And that's what happened to me on Thursday. I hope everyone was okay. Yeah, Miss J, you saw that I didn't do that, huh? Doing my details on the ink layer. Yeah, that's actually the first time on this map that I've done that. Because I normally double check it. Oh, don't, Mr. Fella. No, never do that. Never do that. Never wait on my sorry ass. And in all truth, if I'm not here within half an hour of a start time, I'm not going to be here. Something's happened, you know? I would say that's honestly true for 15 minutes. If I don't start the stream within 15 minutes of my allotted scheduled time, something's happened. Because I'm normally pretty punctual. I'm normally going to be here early, not late. And if I'm late, it's to the tune of 5 minutes, not 10 or 15. So if you hit that point, something's happened. I feel like I should be making my 59 bigger. I mean, what is that? 1, 2, 3. Maybe my 59 needs to be bigger. I got a feeling my 59 needs to be bigger. I'll probably move my 59. I don't think there's a map for it, but it just may not be big enough. Yeah, let's move it. Let's move it. Let's not like mess about. Try putting a layer style on the detail layer. I like that idea. I'm down with that idea. Let's move this guy here. Let's make 59 much bigger. Let's do it. Let's stay true to the original in some ways. Which is going to be... Did that draw it? Oh, I'm still on super light. Hold on a sec. No, there's something about this I don't like, so hold on a sec. We're going to do it the opposite way. We're going to do more like this. Come on, draw. think when we've got this building done, we'll switch into the colouring part of the stream. And as a reminder, I am going to stop the stream and start it again. So I've actually got separate videos. But you can stay in the chat. And we're gonna do that right now. Oh, Miss J, I did that whole thing. I should do it. I should just do what you told me to do. Hold on a minute, Miss J, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Alright, what are we gonna do? Like, just colour overlay. Let's do the colour overlay. Miss J, you told me to do it. I agreed with you, and then I didn't do it. S59 doesn't have a specific map for it, but there are several generic villa maps in the Gaxmoor book. And yeah, this has got an amphitheatre, this has got a gladiatorial arena. I'm drawing Roman villa. And I know what it's listed as. I have the book. I know what it's listed as, but I wasn't going to do any spoilers by reading out that name, Perry. We're going to make little gardens out of these. Roof detail. Not roof detail. Not roof detail. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Let's do this differently. I might do the roof detail a little bit darker than this. I like the idea of bright, but... let's zoom in. Yeah, you know what? Let's make this a little darker. Where is it? Color overlay. There we go. I think we'll still get the idea. We'll still see that we're on the wrong layer, right? But at least we can all see what's going on here in stream. There has to be a way of me creating a texture for this. But is it legit then if I do that? feel like I could turn the background of this guy down just a notch. Yeah. You're always legit. I don't know what that means, but if it's good, then I'll embrace it. Too legit to quit. Oh, you're talking about my texturing. Yeah, you know, I have a flagstone texture that I like to use. Because it covers, like, you know, potentially the whole freaking map, right? And I did a lot of texturing on the Teagle map, because that was also freaking huge. I did a lot of hand drawing of that one, too. But time was a crunch on that one. And I think, like, you know, Miss J does actually with a wonderful water textures. What is it, coffee stain or something, Miss J? There's nothing wrong with that, and then like blending it into the background. But fills, it would be kind of cool if I had some fills that are basically got the imperfections of what I'm doing right now. Like my fill, my hand, with all of my mistakes and my gaps and everything else, you know? That'd be kind of cool. That would be a time saver. But it would have to look legit. And I don't know even if Photoshop supports that type of thing. It's like, do a texture fill that I've created, but create imperfections in it. Yeah, maybe it's doable, right? Maybe it's doable. Like if I did a big, huge area that as part of the texture fill, and that it's in, and then I just sort of moved it into the position. So I don't know, maybe. It's not like every building is going to get this treatment, so I'm not sort of too worried. But if you say villa to me, then we've got to put a red tile roof on it, you know. Yeah, it's an overlay of the whole document, like rough papery, random texture. Yeah, that type of stuff. Absolutely legit. Alright, let's turn off our background. So this is the type of look that we're going for. This is the type of approach. I like the idea of making that red, by the way. Even looks appropriate because it's a red tile roof. And it just doesn't look inappropriate, even for screenshots and stuff. It's like, no, that's okay, that's good. Right on. And you can even see where I accidentally didn't do it. So this is it. What is it? I was going to say, what is on my head? It's like, oh yeah, I've got this laurel wreath. So I think let's stop the stream there for part 1. I'm going to start it immediately up, okay, in 30 seconds time. But I'm going to hit start because we're going to switch over to colouring this one for a while. Because I promised folks that that's what we would do. I think this is a good place to stop Gaxmoor. Now, every evening next week, we're going to be doing the interior of Gaxmoor. I don't think it's going to take that long, guys. I mean, the buildings are pretty big. There's a lot of ruin. I don't think it will take that long. I don't think it will. I think we'll be able to do big neighborhoods pretty quickly. So let me stop it there. Let me hit save. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the stream, stay in chat. We will be switching over to colouring of Keystone, okay? And we're gonna spend an hour or two just colouring and chilling and relaxing, okay? Because it's been like a month and a half since I've worked on that one. So stay right there.